I can't get over the fact that my girlfriend hooked up with my friend. I have been dating my girlfriend for about 7 months now. The first 3 to 4 months were amazing, so amazing, but I guess you can say that is because of the honeymoon phase. When me and her first started talking, we had one mutual follower on Instagram. It was my friend DJ. Obviously, out of curiosity, I had asked her how she knew him, and she responded that they were once texting before, but that was strictly it. I was unfazed by that information. 3 to 4 months go by and I got comfortable enough to post her on my Instagram, knowing that we had that one mutual follower. BC, I was unbothered by him just knowing that they've texted before. He slides up on one of my posts of my girlfriend and proceeds to tell me that they slept together. At first I didn't really believe it. I know how guys are, and he's definitely one of those guys that just talk about intimate and stuff a lot. I was still unfazed. BC, I didn't believe it. Later on that day I see my girlfriend and I kinda bring it up jokingly. I really didn't believe the guy. She then confirmed it for me and I was literally heartbroken by the information. She lied to me about it, and that's what really hurt. I then went to ask about how/why it happened. Huge mistake, truth stings. She told me that they had hooked up, unprotected, their first time meeting each other about 3 weeks before I took her out on our first date. Mind you, me and her didn't get intimate with each other until around our 4th date, and even when we did, we used protection. I guess I'm just jealous of my friend BC of how his experience with her was compared to mine. I like to brag about my lady, and based off of his experience he probably thinks that she is just another H*E out here, and I look ridiculous showing her off the way I do. I've been trying to get over this for the longest, but I just can't get it out of my head. Has anyone else been through anything similar? How do I get over this? Comment. It's very understandable that you're upset. You seem mostly upset because she lied, not because she slept with this guy before you were together. From her perspective, it seems like she lied because she thought you would judge her, or she was ashamed of her actions. If you want to stay with her, I think you should have a talk about how hurt you feel and why. And she should apologize and explain things from her perspective. And then you need to communicate to her what she can do to earn back your trust that she has broken. This isn't something you can just get over by yourself. You need to tackle this problem together as a couple. Before this thread gets brigaded with the usual comments of "don't judge a woman's past," I just want to say I completely understand why you'd feel like a fool. She completely lied to you. Not only that, but I don't care what people on Reddit say, it's definitely going to sting if a woman who you think is the one takes their time to get intimate with you, then you find out gives it up on the first time meeting with someone, unprotected too. This won't be something you'll get over. Just end it with her. People are quick to say end the relationship but forget that hookups are common nowadays. Granted, hooking up raw the first time was a bad choice, but as long as she got tested and isn't still hooking up with the guy, that shouldn't be the reason y'all break up. Her lying, on the other hand, does raise some concerns. Talk to her about why she lied and how it makes you feel instead of bottling up and hiding your feelings about it. Her answer can help you decide whether or not you guys can try to work past it and if you can truly forgive her. Also, who cares about his experience with her? At the end of the day, she loves you and has been faithful ever since y'all got together, based on the info given in this post. The only two people who should care about your relationship should be you and her. Everyone else's opinions should be taken with a grain of salt. If your relationship with her is happy and healthy, flaunt it and be happy. Don't let outside opinions taint something that brings you joy. She went raw on the first date. She is unwise. She lead you on. You are the nice guy from whom she has chosen to manipulate a ring. Don't be a blind captain, save Soho and help her spin her lies. She's not dope. She's a danger to your financial future. What you're feeling is totally valid. When someone has what seems to be a more amazing experience or does things they haven't or won't for you, it can hurt. Actions speak louder than words. And that includes her lies. Did she say why she lied? Other than "I didn't want to hurt your feelings." People are so quick to say end the relationship. Really what it comes down to is you can't condone the fact that you were lied to. But also think about it in a way that, if she realized that you knew the guy, she might have even been a little embarrassed to admit that at first, or maybe didn't even realize that it was something she should tell you about simply for the fact that it was before the two of you got together. It's definitely something that you should talk about, but let it be known how you feel. The two of you are in a relationship, he was just a hookup. 3. Story 2. My ex-boyfriend ghosted me for 11 days and then admitted to reading my journal. Do I owe him an explanation for some of the entries? There isn't really a relationship left here. I'm posting to ask if I should give in to the request my ex is making. He wants an explanation for my journal entries about him. This is the part I'd like advice on. My ex and I got back together recently, which only lasted a little over a month. Before that, we had dated for 1 year 1 month. We were apart for about 10 months and then decided to get back together. The relationship ended the first time around largely due to his poor mental health. The quick version of the story is that my ex suddenly stopped speaking to me 11 days ago, and I couldn't figure out why. There hadn't been a fight. The very last conversation we had was strange. He essentially uninvited me to Thanksgiving because his grandfather invited him to their Thanksgiving, and he tried to convince me that he was the only person in his family invited by his grandfather. He has 2 siblings that were allegedly not invited. I now doubt this conversation was ever real, and he just wanted an excuse to uninvite me from Thanksgiving. In any case, that was the last I heard for him for 11 days. Mutual friends and I were completely unable to get a hold of him, but we noticed social media activity and knew that he was attending classes, so we knew he was at least healthy physically. He read our texts/emails but did not respond. His family also refused to respond to me. Today, I got fed up with the ghosting, and I drove down to his house. I waited outside his house for a police escort, that never came. I wanted a police escort so that I could knock on his door and ask for my belongings back. He had ignored all of my texts asking for my things back, so it felt like this was the only option to tie a loose end and end a relationship in which the other party was refusing to speak to me. Essentially, he ended up noticing that I was parked near his house, waiting for the police, and he texted me that he planned for us to talk soon. First contact in 11 days. I said, "There's nothing to talk about, the relationship is over, I only want my belongings back." He said, "I'll be home in 15 minutes, can we talk then?" I said, "I'm not wanting to talk. I want my things back." This is when he texted me to say, "I found your journal. I am begging you for an explanation of what was in that journal. I see on the subreddit rules that abuse cannot be discussed. I will vaguely say that the content of my journal described some of my struggles with the abuse that I endured during our relationship. For the most part, he and I had worked through this when getting back together again. I suspect that he read the journal and was shocked by the magnitude of the anger that I held toward him after our breakup. He is probably also upset by how many people I told about the abuse. Do I need to give this person an explanation? I shouldn't have taken him back. I'm heartbroken. I'm mad. I'm mad at myself. I feel really violated. I blocked him on all social media. The only thing I haven't done is block his number. I can't believe that this happened, but I also can 100% believe it because of his mental illness and how things ended the first time. I'm at such a loss. Was he entitled to this information? Am I a bad partner for re-entering a committed relationship with him while not disclosing how many different people I talked to about the abuse? Was I supposed to disclose everything about how I processed how he treated me? Comment. Your abusive ex-boyfriend is upset that you journaled your, understandably negative, feelings about his abuse in your journal, which he violated your privacy by reading. Nope, you absolutely do not owe him any explanation. He is not entitled to your private thoughts and writings. I am so sorry you are going through this. Yes. Nail on head. He doesn't need any explanation, he's trying to manipulate or hurt up. If he really understood and acknowledged the extent of his abuse, if he has grown or learned anything, then he wouldn't need to be having this conversation with Up. He could be rightly disappointed in himself, that his past actions/abuse hurt Up so bad, or that some people who might not have known that he was abusive to her now do, but that fact that he ghosted her and wants to talk tell me he is not self-reflecting or sorry, he's upset at Up. Up doesn't deserve that. Up, you do not owe him anything. Get your belongings and move on. Unless one has explicit permission to read another's journal, reading a journal is an invasion of one's privacy. The thoughts you enter are strictly yours, and are not for casual perusal by others. You should get all of your belongings before discussing anything with him, and when they are all safely in your car, you should tell him that your thoughts are just that, yours, and had you wanted to talk with him about them, you would have already done so. Tell him that you hope he has success in beating his mental illness, but that you weren't one of his therapists, and the reasons you wrote what you wrote in your journal were private, as was your journal, and that he would do well to understand boundaries. You owe him nothing. Be safe. Take law enforcement or a friend with you to retrieve your things and go no contact. People like him will always find a way to suck you back in as a way to manipulate and control you. Something so difficult to wrap one's mind around when a person finds themselves deep into this hamster wheel. Right now, you're in the devalue/discard stage. Seek out support from friends and loved ones. Don't allow him to drag this on and pull you down further. Take your power back, and it starts while moving forward, not backward. Best wishes to you, be safe. He abused you, how do you own him anything? And of course you were angry and you opened up in the only safe place you could, which is your journals. What? You were supposed to go to him and complain so he could abuse you more? And you're free to talk to whomever you want to about your abuse. Don't want your ex talking about you abusing them. Don't abuse them. No, you did not have to disclose everything. Why did you give him another chance?